Welcome to an all-new Downright Sports. I am your host, the Notorious Sports Critic, Brent Reed. That last part was unnecessary. I'm going to say that firsthand. It was super unnecessary. But welcome to a new Downright Sports. As we wrap up, we get ready. 2025 is just about to be in the rear view, brother. Ooh, yeah. As I do my macho man. Ooh, yeah. All right. If you've never heard the show before, it is a sports show for sports fans by the sports fan out there. You can download, listen to the show on Spotify currently right now. You can also watch clips on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube if you want to see just the hot takes. Not bad, or the best takes. I normally can really do it, but I don't know if I can do it right now. The biggest takes, some of the best. I can't do it right now because I'm on the spot. I'm sorry, I'm on the spot. Anyway, if you've never heard this show before, like I said, you're going to enjoy it. It's a little different, and the show's going to be recorded a little different today, and maybe for a while. So if you've heard the show in the past, you understand the format of the show. It's going to be formatted just slightly a little different, maybe even a little quicker. That'd be good for a lot of people. But what do we have to talk about? As Cody Rhodes would say, what do you want to talk about? And I guess the first thing on everybody's list, or the top of everybody's list, especially if you're from New York, well, that's only one thing. The New York Knicks have won the illustrious NBA Cup, a tournament that has only been around for 3 years, and the Knicks are the third champions. That ain't half bad. What is the NBA Cup? Well, the NBA Cup was something put in place by Commissioner Adam Silver, who normally makes bad decisions, and this may or may not, only time will tell, could be one. The NBA Cup has been around now, like I said, 3 years. It's had 3 champions. The Knicks are the third. The first was the Lakers with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The second was the Milwaukee Bucks by Giannis Antetokounmpo, and now the Knicks. The fun fact is none of the winners have gone on to win the NBA championship. But last year, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who finished in second in the Cup, did go on to win the finals. So that's something. And the Pacers, who lost to the Lakers in the inaugural one, lost in the NBA championship last year to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So there is some ties to the finals in some form of capacity, in some shape or form. But I have a list of questions. Well, a list of things to cover, and what does the cup mean? Did I not write it down here? Oh, I did write it down. Sorry. What does the cup mean to Knicks fans? If you're a Knicks fan out there, all right, you have been dying, and I am a Knicks fan. First and foremost, let me be clear. I'll tell you how I became a Knicks fan, all right? If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the banner right behind me. If you're watching on Facebook, you can see the banner right behind me. If you're watching anywhere, you can see the banner behind me. The year is 1990, maybe 91. I'm a little fuzzy, but I was a child. I was about 5, all right, 4 or 5. My dear sweet Aunt Yvonne, who's going to kill me for name dropping her on here, but she bought me a Chicago Bulls hat, all right? Why? Because at the time, Michael Jordan was at the top of the world. For you youngsters out there, if you listen to this, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. It's not LeBron James. Let me be clear, all right? But my aunt goes and buys me a Jordan hat, okay? My mom sees this, and in the play, and while the Knicks is playing the Bulls on NBC while I was a child, I believe it was NBC, she takes the hat. Could have been CBS. I don't know when they made the move. She takes the hat and throws it in the trash can. The next day, I get a Knicks hat. And she looks me in the face and she says, "You root for New York teams and New York teams only in this house. We are from New York. We root New York. We win and lose with our teams." And for the next decade of the 90s, I listened and watched my sweet mother live and die by the Knicks. I remember being a kid outside. We were living in Yonkers, and I remember being outside and playing with my friends. The Knicks, I think, were playing the Miami Heat, and you can hear my mother screaming. We lived on the sixth floor, the fifth or sixth floor. I think it's the fifth floor. No, it's the fourth floor. Excuse me. We lived on the fourth floor. I can hear her yelling about how like the Knicks is blowing the game and etc. 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 My dad, countless bets on the team and stuff like that. My uncles living and dying, and for at least a small chunk of my family remembers when the Knicks won the championship, the two championships since the 70s. Knicks ain't won one since. They've been to the finals since then. They went in 94, they went in 99, but have not won a championship in my lifetime. The NBA Cup was created as a way to drum up excitement. Not excitement. It's excitement. I don't even know how I said it. Was able to drum up excitement around the league in the lows of this time of year. The NBA is cut up in a lot of ways. It's cut up in the start of the season, the excitement, and then it was cut up by the Christmas break, and then it was cut up by the All-Star break, and then we just waited until the playoffs. The NBA Cup is that nice sweet in between Christmas, because the NBA season officially starts on Christmas Day in a lot of our opinions. And until the NFL had decided to put football games on, that day belonged to the NBA. And now the NFL said we want that market too. That's a conversation for another show. The NBA Cup was created in the vein of college basketball. They have in-season tournaments. The in-season tournaments do play into the records for the team that year, and in soccer. And for some reason, American basketball decided it felt they needed a big flux of soccer influences, which I don't know if that resonates with a large chunk of older Americans. Younger Americans will get it. Older Americans won't, but I digress. Either way, you can kind of see the competitiveness. If you are a certain team, right? Let's say, for example, you are, and this is one of those years where the NBA Cup was a lot of chalk, but let's say you're in the NBA and you are the Brooklyn Nets, you're the Chicago Bulls, you're the Washington Wizards. Wizards couldn't win a start of the season cup. Let's just be clear. Let's take them out. If the Wizards had a cup, if there was a tournament and it was the Wizards versus no one else, they would lose that. So I'm going to take them out. But if you're any of the other teams I named, you're the Trailblazers, you're the Kings, you're the Pelicans is also in that Wizards conversation. You're the Timberwolves, you're the Jazz. It kind of gives you something to play for. All right? Do I think the cup is dumb? I'm not going to say it's dumb. It's different. And again, if you're American and you're of a certain age, change bothers you, especially with your sports. That is not something you love. You're like, what is this? An in-season cup? A tournament? You don't need a tournament. You play for the real thing. You play for the real thing. This is what would they say? This is socialism. No, you still gotta earn it, damn it. But the cup means something. What does it mean to the Knicks? What does it mean to the franchise? What does it mean to the city of New York? I think it was nice. I'm going to be real. I think it's nice. As a Knicks fan, you've watched. I'm sorry. As a Knicks fan, you have watched for year after year after year after year after year after year, someone else wins something. We haven't had a league MVP. We haven't had a championship. Hell, we haven't even, they created an award, and Jalen Brunson won it, the most clutch player. It's the stupidest award I've ever heard. It's just giving awards to give awards. But we won that, and it was nice to have won that. The Knicks is the team that everyone in New York stops everything. I've done this before on the show, but the city of New York is one of those few cities that has the privilege of saying it has 2 basketball teams, 2 baseball teams, 2 football teams, 2 hockey teams. All right. When the Yankees are without a doubt, they're the blue bloods. You're a Yankee fan, you're a smart man. But if the Mets are red hot and the Mets is on the path for a World Series, the city comes to a standstill. That's real. Like, the city's like, whoa, okay, let's go Mets. All right, let's go Mets. The Giants and the Jets, we don't know what happens when the Jets do anything because the Jets have sucked forever since Joe Namath did this. If you're listening on the podcast, I'm wagging my finger like Joe Namath after Super Bowl III. If you are an Islanders and a Rangers fan, it captivates the city, but no team in New York is the heartbeat of the Knicks, and it's because of the 90s Knicks. All right? I'm going to sum a lot of this up. Calm down. The 90s Knicks was the embodiment of grit. The 90s Knicks was the embodiment of, oh my God, we're this close and we lose again. When you had Patrick Ewing, John Starks, later Allen Houston, but let's talk about the real ones. Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Charlie Ward, Chris Childs, Charles Oakley. We got Larry Johnson later. Mark Jackson was a part of that, but Mark is more of a pacer than me as a Knick. Okay, so is Greg Anthony. You know what I'm saying. But the true spirit of that team, led by what the heck is his name? What's that coach's name? Crapola. Van Gundy. Jeff Van Gundy leading the way. Everything about that Knicks team when they played, it mattered so much. They played with heart. If they were a football team, to give you guys an idea, if that Knicks team of the 90s was a football team, it'd be the Ravens of Ray Lewis. It would be the 85 Bears. It would be the Steel Curtain. Like, they came with their hard hats. You were not showing up to the Garden in the 90s thinking you were just going to walk out unscathed, unless your name was Michael Jordan. But that team meant so much. And then the dark years, post-Patrick, the dark years. People, it became famous to come to the Garden and put up numbers. Steph and Kobe, LeBron, like, they're stepping on our court and they're balling out. And it was okay. Like, we were just supposed to be okay with that. It wasn't until Carmelo came. And even the Carmelo years is dark because Melo and that team didn't do as much. We were happy to have a superstar because on Broadway you got to have a big name. But I'll paint the Carmelo years like this, okay? You got to play on Broadway. And the play is, how can I sum this up? Crap. And what you do is you go sign a big name to the play. You go get just a name, any name. Throw out a name. Somebody, just throw out a name. Let's just call it, let's say you get, I need an actor. You get Jack Nicholson. I'll bring it more today's time, okay? I'll bring it to more today's time. You get Michael B. Jordan. The play still sucks, but it was nice to see Michael B. You know what I mean? That was the Carmelo years with the Knicks, all right? Jalen Brunson and now this new group reminds me of the 90s team. Full of grit, hardworking, willing to go out there and, leave it all on the court. And then winning this NBA Cup showed us that. The Knicks could have lost this game. They were losing this game. The Spurs was doing what they wanted to the Knicks the entire time. They would get the rebound, run and gun, hit threes. They were cooking. And the Knicks stayed close enough. And you would see Jordan Clarkson. I texted the guy last night, and I was like, Jordan Clarkson is the dog the Knicks needed last year. Unconscionable. A guy not afraid to play. He was just throwing, I'm shooting this. Don't care. All right, the Knicks finally have a core of guys that unselfishly want to play together. Do you understand how important that is for a team in the center of the world? a place where nothing closes. Other players have come through and they have said, they uttered the words, I couldn't play in the city. I didn't rest. The good thing about this Knicks team, they like playing Fortnite. That's amazing. I don't even know what the hell Fortnite is. I don't play it, but they love it. They do podcasts and they play Dungeons and Dragons. This is good for the Knicks. So, what's next? The Knicks winning this NBA Cup. Does that mean the Knicks are going to win the NBA Finals? It doesn't. Still a long road through Oz, Dorothy, before they get there. Currently, right now, if we look at the standings, the Knicks are second behind the Detroit Pistons, who are 21-5. Toronto is better. The Celtics have not died. The Magic are better. The 76ers are not dying. I'll give you an idea. Last year at this time, the Cavaliers was cooking. The 76ers are ahead of the Cavaliers. The Atlanta Hawks are better. Miami's always well coached. And Milwaukee, well, everybody's sitting and waiting to see if the Greek Freak is coming to New York. I personally don't want him. Not because he's not a great player, but because the Knicks finally have that thing. What is that thing? What is it called? Somebody tell me, Shaq, what is it called? Chemistry. Do you know how important chemistry is? And we don't need Giannis. If the Knicks do make it through the East, they got to beat a Thunder team that is unstoppable. The Nuggets that still have one of the top 5 best players in the world. The Lakers who have one of the top 2 of the best top 10 players in the game. The Spurs who lost but showed, oh crap, they have arrived. So it's not going to be an easy feat for the Knicks if they get it, but they showed they got the heart. And that's all we want as Knicks fans, is heart. Now, Jalen has won the illustrious NBA Cup. I'm laughing because it's not illustrious, okay? Calm down. But it made everybody wonder, where's Jalen ranking in Knicks history? He ain't first. All right? And for those of you out there that got this notion that Jalen is number 1 or Carmelo's number 2, you really need to stop smoking crack. You need to leave drugs alone, stop drinking, go find a rehab facility, do your 12 steps, and when you come out, move out the country because you're delusional and you're just misinformed. Carmelo Anthony, in my opinion, is not even in the top 5 greatest Knicks of all time. He didn't do as much. He was great. Again, I compare him to a great actor getting on a bad Broadway play. That Carmelo Knicks years was terrible. The upper management, the coaching changes, like it was bad. This is not Carmelo's fault. But he's just not on the top 10. He ain't. Here are the top 10 Knicks of all time. Starting at number 1 is Patrick Ewing. Just from everything, if you missed why, go listen to the first part of the show. Go back to about the 10-minute mark. Next is Willis Reed, who should be number 1 because Willis Reed is the captain, the only captain of the Knicks history. And that's not true, but you get what I'm saying. 2 championships, and it's the tunnel. It's him coming through the tunnel, busted knees, and the crowd going crazy. Is one of the biggest moments in sports history. It's one of the biggest moments in the 20th century. For those of you out there that lived in the 20th century. Next is Walt Clyde Frazier. Why? He's the point guard on those 2 championships, still a part of the Knicks organization, and one of the best point guards that ever played the game, scoring and passing. In fact, in one of the games, he's a finals MVP. He put up 40. Sure did. Next is Bernard King. That's a favorite to my Uncle Sterling, who's a big Bernard King fan. Bernard King was a bowler. Number 5, I'm going Charles Oakley. The enforcer. Number 6, because he put up with all our crap and he was always there, John Starks. At number 7, Latrell Sprewell. Spree got the Knicks to a finals. Pac was on one leg. Spree did it. At number 8, Chase told me to do it. Marcus Camby. I don't know. I'm doing it as a favor to Chase, but Camby was a beast with the Knicks. I'm not going with Allen Houston. At number 9, I'm gonna go Brunson, and at number 10, I'm gonna go Carmelo. It's the top 10 Knicks, in my opinion. I could have went the Butcher, could have went a lot of guys, but I'm gonna go with that. All right. So that's it. Anyway, we're gonna take a really quick break. Show's gonna be very different. Facebook and YouTube, you're not going anywhere. We're staying right here. We're going to take a small break. When we come back, we're going to go to the square circle. And we're going to wrap the show up talking about Never Seen 17, John Cena. Downright Sports, everybody. Never Seen 17. I need water. Water. All right, let's wrap this one up, shall we? This past weekend, the WWE did Saturday night's main event, and we saw the retirement of John Cena in his last match. I'm not going to sit here and critique the match or the booking. I know fans was upset. Tradition, wrestling lore is you go out. You go out and you pay it forward. It's just the right way to do it. I think if you guys take your blinders off for a second, and I'm sitting here wearing sunglasses, if you guys take your blinders off for a second, look at what the WWE can be building to is similar to what we saw them building with Brock Lesnar, similar to what we saw them build with Roman Reigns. This is a long-term story. Gunther retires Goldberg, the unstoppable Goldberg, okay? Gunther gets to retire John Cena. We could be getting set up for Gunther to either retire AJ Styles at the Rumble, AJ Styles at WrestleMania, hell, AJ Styles at Elimination Chamber, and then Gunther could be retiring Brock Lesnar. Hell, I would like to see it at WrestleMania, but they're probably going to save it for SummerSlam. I don't like the idea if they do Brock and Gunther at WrestleMania and Brock beats him at WrestleMania. I think that's dumb. But that's what they're building to. Gunther is, everybody's been hoping that the new Undertaker was going to be a mysterious person. I think the new Undertaker is Gunther. And Michael Cole's call the other night where he said professional wrestling being a sports entertainer was the culmination of we're flipping it. Even if you watched Raw on Monday, seemed a little more edgy. And I think now that, because here's John Cena's impact. If you pay attention to wrestling, you watch wrestling, and the WWE was always searching for the next Hogan. All right? Hogan and Vince McMahon's idea of the WWE was supposed to be the circus. And it was supposed to be for family. It was supposed to, you bring your family in and kids and parents and grandparents, everybody can come and be entertained. Hogan did that. All right. And then they couldn't do it with the Ultimate Warrior. They couldn't do it with Lex Luthor. In the 90s came South Park and all this stuff, and they had to get edgy. And then you got Stone Cold. You got The Rock. You got all these people. But after they fizzled and retired and stepped away, what Vince could now, what's next? You couldn't keep being edgy. You couldn't keep having, bra and panties matches. And, you couldn't keep saying puppies and double entendres, but you had a guy that gave you a little edginess when you needed it, but for the most part could be PC, John Cena. And John Cena John Cena's the everyman. He is the prototype. That was his original name before, when he was in development. If you needed a representation of hip hop, John Cena did it. If you needed representation of rock and roll, John Cena did it. If you needed representation of the middle America, John Cena did it. If you needed representation of the South, John Cena did it. If you needed representation of America, John Cena did it. And was it. And stood on it. Cena, we can all argue to a blue in the face the best in-ring performers. A lot of you guys, well, what about Kenny Omega? What about Okada? Here's the difference, all right? And I bring it back to this. There are a lot of great basketball, football, baseball players at Division II and high school. Hell, there are a lot of great guys sitting at home right now. But the difference in going from great to legendary to all time to undoubtable, well, that takes a lot. And that's a special kind of person. That's what John Cena is and was. A special kind of talent. John Cena was so great, you didn't care about the in-ring work. You weren't talking about his work rate. Some of these wrestlers out here have to have work rate because they got nothing else. Kenny Omega, I recognize, is great in the ring. Boring as hell, though. He is. Just saying. So I salute the Never Seen 17. I think, I love the retirement run. I like the heel turn. I would like to have seen The Rock and what could have went with it, but The Rock would have overshadowed it. Let's just be real. And they could have did more. But they didn't. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Who was some of Cena's, what was the, I don't remember all his great matches. He had great, I remember the summer of CM Punk. Cena was a big part of that. Cena, AJ Styles, he was a big part of that. Rusev, he was a big part of that. HBK in the early days. I know everybody likes the Edge rivalry. That got boring to me. I liked it better with Randy, if you want to know the truth. Hell, I liked it when he came back and he took a jab at Roman. His beef with Roman was big. So I think Cena did his part. He did his job, and I salute him. And where's he ranked all time? He's in the top 5. We always got to do rankings, but the guy that was the total package was Rick. Rick is number 1. But we're getting to a place now, I don't think we can put Rick and Hogan on list anymore. I think these guys are otherworldly. They transcend the sport. Cena's close to that. But, if I'm removing Hogan and Rick, I would probably go Austin, Stone Cold, Dusty Rhodes, The Rock, Cena, Macho Man. Ooh, yeah, brother. And then, we got to start digging a little bit. A lot of people like Terry Funk. I like Bret Hart. I like Shawn Michaels in that. In fact, I probably would go, if I had to, off the dome, Austin. I'm going to go Austin 1. I'm going to go HBK 2, Rock 3, Cena 4, 5, I'm going to go Roddy Piper. 6, I'm going to go CM Punk. I'm a big CM Punk fan. 7, I'm going to go Bret. 8, I'm going to go Macho Man. Ooh, yeah. You always got to do that. Got to do the Macho. 9, I'm going to go Mick Foley because of what he was able to do in the ring and out the ring. Mick Foley is definitely 9. 10 is tricky. 10, can I do a tag team? I'd like to do a tag team. I'm not going to do a tag team. I think that's cheating. 10, you know what? I'm going to flip it up. 10, I'm going to go Charlotte Flair. And if you need any convincing, go watch her match with Rhea Ripley from WrestleMania a few years ago. Charlotte. I'm going Charlotte Flair. Yeah, no question. But that's it. That's what I got. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been fun. The format show's going to be a little different for a while. So I'm going to play around and see how it goes. But if you enjoy Facebook and YouTube, download it on Spotify. Tune in and listen. Follow us and like us on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Go there. And will we be back next week? I don't know. No. But you're going to get a 2-for-1er. So there will be, if you happen to hear this podcast between now and December 19th, there's another episode. It's the preview of the college football playoff. We're going to preview the first round, and then we'll rock from there. But thank you all for listening and watching. It's been a lot of fun. As always, be safe. Hold it down. Happy holidays. Deuces. What I really want for Christmas. I'm sorry.